And the Tua squad, very vocal on Twitter now, ever since you ranked Tua behind Jarrett Stidham in your top 40 quarterback rankings, very vocal. And so they made sure that you noticed that Jarrett Stidham threw those interceptions. What do you make of that story out there and Jarrett throwing to the wrong team, which I guess was his team, but on the defensive side?
Yeah, still the wrong team for this purpose. Again, do I pay attention to it? Do I take notice of it? Do I file it away and go, wait, is this going to be a continued theme here throughout training camp with Jarrett Stidham? Certainly. I'll be aware of it. There's no doubt about it. And I believe today he threw another interception. So he's like, he had 3 interceptions, and I think for 3 days in a row he's thrown an interception, right? Now, one, it's like hashtag as expected. I mean, the guy's basically a rookie in the NFL. So, yeah, he's not going to be perfect. 2, as you know, they got some new parts at wide receiver. They got some young guys who are still learning their way. And 3, they're going against the best secondary in football. That's all there is to be said. They're going against some special guys. They're outclassed as far as that's concerned. I mean, their defensive secondary should win the battle more days than not against the wide receivers. So, and then also, Ahmed, you always have to take this into account. I got a few more points with this, but the context of the interceptions matter too, right? If he's throwing a ball and it's getting batted at the line of scrimmage because the right guard got pushed back 5 feet, well, that's not Jarrett Stidham's fault. Let's not just go, oh, he threw an interception and just, put it on Twitter so everybody can react. If he threw a ball and the receiver broke the wrong way, he was supposed to go left, but he went right. Jarrett Stidham's going to get blamed. So there's a lot of different ways into how to view these interceptions, let alone New England is the type of place where they might have a theme for the day, where Bill and Josh McDaniels go, we want to be aggressive.
Throw it to the other team. That's
I want to test
one.
Maybe. Well, I'm not even he might go, I want our corners tested here early on in camp. I want to test them. I don't want any check the ball down. I want our corners tested because I want our wide receivers tested. And I want to see what they have too and being able to compete with some of these guys. So he might have told his quarterbacks, hey, push the envelope a little bit. Throw the ball down the field. I mean, I experienced it when I was there for that 2012 season. I mean, we had some practices where Brady was, less than Brady-like, right? Because they were beating it in his brain. Throw it deep. I don't give a shit that Wes Welker's open for 4 yards right here. We need to practice this. This is what we're bad at. I know you can hit Wes Welker 4 yards over the middle. And it led to some practices where you went, that's not that great. So there's that aspect, too, that people can't forget. There might have been something that's been told. And then the last thing here, and the most important point, and I'm sorry I'm talking so much because you're probably what the f*** will this guy shut up?
It's interesting.
That's
what this whole podcast is, Chris. This is the whole point of the podcast, is to get inside your brain for as long as possible, for an hour if necessary. So that's the whole concept of this.
And then I don't let you butt in or ask me a question, so I don't want to just totally go crazy here. But
we're good.
The most important thing, and this is where I admire the New England Patriots, they do not script for success, okay? And a lot of people out there might go, what the hell does that mean, script for success? Well, have you heard me say this before? Have you heard this?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think that's a phrase that I've heard.
Okay, so script for success. When I was in Tampa, Derek Brooks used to complain about it all the time because basically before practice, John Gruden would get together with Monty Kiffin and he'd go, okay, let's say here's 7-on-7. Here's the plays I'm going to run, Monty Kiffin. I need you to play this coverage versus this play. I need you to play this coverage versus this play, right? So a lot of the times, the defense is just working on their coverages and things like that, so they don't care as much, even though the defensive coordinator might go, I would never play this defense versus this formation, or if you had Joey Galloway in the slot, right? They wouldn't do it, but they're being forced to because Gruden's asking them to, and they want their offense to click and get some timing and some rhythm and get some success to practice, right? More teams than not run practice that way. The New England Patriots don't. They don't do any of that. And therefore, it can be very game-like at times where the quarterback can get to the line of scrimmage and be like, man, I know it's like day 5 of training camp, but I'm not sure what the hell they're lining up here or what the coverage is. But it makes you have to play the game, right? Because that's the way it'll be on a Sunday. So it can lead to some ugly practices, especially if the defense is a little more advanced than the offense, which I think is the case there in New England. So I'm not going to make a big deal about it at this point. Jarrett Stidham's still learning. They got a lot of young new pieces on that offensive side of the ball. If we're still talking about this a week from now, 10 days from now, Ahmed, and it's, man, Jarrett Stidham, he's throwing interceptions, 7 out of the last 9 days. And, it's then I'm going to start to go, damn, okay, he's having some issues being a little reckless with the football and reading defenses and things like that.
I'm going to say Bill's still telling him to push the envelope out there. He's telling him to throw those interceptions. But no, that's a good point, and that's something that I don't think we normally think about. We think of a practice as like, yeah, you just want to emulate everything like a game. But that's the point of a practice, is trying things out that you may not try in a game or that you want to improve in a game. Right. And I think that's a good point. And it's always a good strategy for Jarrett Stidham to start low. You always want to start like with a C or a D. You don't want to start out practice great, especially week 1 here with full pads on. So some things to work on there for Jarrett Stidham, but that may be exactly what he's doing, working on him in training camp right now.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.